Greetings folks, and I hope you're in a wumper-free zone wherever you are in collecting land. And welcome back to the channel for another 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. And today it's the turn of Hot Toys' take on Mark Hamill, aka Luke Skywalker, Snowspeeder pilot, from the Irwin Kershner directed 1980 Star Wars sequel that is The Empire Strikes Back. Usual format folks, box, accessories, figure, then showcase at the end. But yes, you've guessed it, before we dive in, I'd like to send the usual shout out to everyone who supported the channel. And please drop a like on this review as it helps other people find Go Figure. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you don't miss any of the action figure antics we've got coming up. So, we will get the controversy out of the way at the beginning. Regulars to the channel will already know my feelings on Star Wars. Please don't shoot the messenger, this is just my opinion, but here goes. The first film is an epic. It's a genre-defining piece of cultural history. Empire Strikes Back doubled down and gave us the best Star Wars film ever made, in my opinion. And The Return of the Jedi was pretty good, despite the Ewoks. Everything that has followed since has pretty much been a downward spiral into hot garbage. Punctuated with the occasional gem, like Rogue One and Andor, and what Disney have done to the Star Wars legacy is downright criminal, in my opinion. So, accordingly, Mr. Go Figure has never really thrown himself into the Hot Toys Star Wars rabbit hole, apart from the occasional toe dip into the water of the first and second movies. But enough of my rebellion-related ramblings onto this box. Let's stop it from spinning and have a quick look at it. And it's that usual Hot Toys Star Wars design that collectors will recognise. It's that slipcover, pretty much all black, with this V shape on the front, which is slightly accentuated. You've got a picture of the figure itself. There's Snowspeeder Luke in the centre. It says Star Wars in this high gloss outline silver foil. Luke Skywalker at the bottom there. 40th anniversary edition of because of the Empire Strikes Back anniversary, obviously. Movie masterpiece, Hot Toys logo bottom right hand corner. Around on the sides, nothing really to mention other than that sort of diagonal split of the side of the box. And it says Disney in the corner. Right. Moving to the other side, same thing again. But fortunately, it doesn't say Disney on that side. On the bottom of the box, it says Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. Pretty straightforward. On the top, that's repeated. And around the back, very, very simple design. Just says movie masterpieces at the top, Luke Skywalker. And then you've got all your credits and warnings at the bottom there. Don't piss this figure off, or it might just keep you on for one more season. Slipcover design, so let's get it off this turntable and have a quick look at it. What you are greeted with when you remove the slipcover. And yes folks, there is no figure in this box. This is not a brand new figure to me, had it in the collection a while. But underneath that windowed envelope, you would see the figure itself. At the bottom here, you've got another image of the figure. You've got this super high gloss foil star here that says Empire Strikes Back 40th anniversary. It says Luke Skywalker, Snowspeeder pilot, and the Star Wars emblem at the bottom there. And once again, the same details as on the front of the box, but in that highly reflective silver foil. It is done in the Kenner style of original Star Wars figures boxes that go back to the 70s and the 80s, and I really do like it. I think it harkens back to the good old days, and I do appreciate them boxing these figures this way. Around the side you have another shot of the figure, Star Wars logo again. Around the other side you've got a group of photos. There's some close-ups of that picture that we've just seen there, and a description of the portion of the film that it's lifted from. And around the back, once again, more credits and warnings, and another shot of him in the ice base on Hoth. So there you have it folks, that's the box. So without further ado, let's do as we always do. Let's dive down onto the table and have a look at all the accessories that come with your Snowspeeder Luke figure. Okay folks, so accessories, and fair to say there's a healthy amount to go at here, so well done Hot Toys. We will start with the hands as we always do, you know Mr. Go Figure's strange hand thing. You get 4 gloved hands and 4 ungloved hands, and you also get this arm as well, but I'm not counting that as a hand. We'll look at that separately. One of the gloved hands is already on the figure. We'll take a look at that when we bring it out, but let's grab a couple of these gloved hands first and take a look at them. And you've got all manner of hands going on here. You've got gripping hands for weapons, for lightsabers, for grappling hooks and all kinds of stuff like that. But we'll take a look at one of the gloved hands, and I've got to say the sculpt is very nice here. The paint applications are on point as well. They've captured that sort of material look from the Snowspeeder suit really well. The tones are just right. There's lots of flecking going on here to give it that shaded effect. There's creasing in there that's picked out with dry brushing and washes, and overall very nice indeed, even down to the creases in between the fingers in the gloves themselves to give it that authentic glove look, and down the side as well. So yeah, very nicely done. Flexibility test, we are looking at a sort of medium here, soft to medium, so hopefully no issues with gripping any of the accessories. I've encountered none with this figure. It's the same sort of standard of hand that we've come to expect from Hot Toys. The lightsaber holding hand here, there are 2 lightsabers with this figure. We'll take a look at both of them. And it's the same story with this one as well. Essentially you have him holding the lightsaber in either hand, whichever suits depending on the pose. So those are the gloved hands, very nicely done. Let's take a look at the ungloved hands, and yeah, straight away it's what we've come to expect from Hot Toys. Sculpt, very good. You've got bone work in there, you've got some vein work, the multiple paint applications on there to give it that tonal and texture, very nice. There's some rending on the knuckles there. You've got sculpted in fingernails. Yeah, perhaps not much in the way of detailing on the palms of these hands, although that one you can be given for because it's a gripping hand. There's some on this one, on this open palm hand, but yeah, overall it's the high level, the high standard that we've come to expect from Hot Toys. And after all, they've been at this for years, so they should be getting it right. So yeah, that's the hands. Let's put those to one side. What else? There's a lot to go out here, so we'll speed through. Set of instructions. You'll probably notice these instructions are open and think, why, Mr. Go Figure, you have opened instructions for the first time. Reason for that, these instructions though are very nice. They open up, and I will try and do this quickly on camera so you can have a quick look. What happens is when you fold these instructions out, you have this rather nice image of the Star Wars poster art in grayscale. But yeah, these instructions are open for a reason. We'll get to that. It's one particular accessory, but yeah, pop those to one side for now. What else? Let's take a look at some of the weaponry. Comes complete with 2 lightsabers. The first lightsaber is unpowered, and this is if you're wanting to pose the figure without the light up feature. Hot Toys have been at lightsabers for years as well, so they should be getting it right by now. The hilt is really nicely done. Obviously screen accurate to Luke's lightsaber. Metallic paint application is very nice. Red button on the pommel there, screen accurate. Those black sections, those rib sections at the back, just right. That little sort of display on the top there, once again screen accurate. It's got a metal hook at the back there if you're wanting to hook it to the belt. Practice makes perfect, and I think they pretty much got it perfect here, Hot Toys, with this lightsaber. And it's the usual Hot Toys blade as well that goes with it. It's this sort of clear plastic with a slight blue tinge to it, and the blade itself is removable, so you can pop it into the light up one if you're wanting to. We'll get to the light up feature shortly, but yeah, you can swap that out with the what I'm going to describe as the swooshy effect, because I can't think of a better expression for it. But yeah, pretty much comes as standard with an awful lot of Hot Toys Star Wars figures with lightsabers, is the swooshy effect, and it's this gradiated plastic, slightly lighter at one end, one side here, getting darker at this side here, to give it that sort of in motion look. So if you're wanting to use that in this in this particular hilt, you can as well. Both of these blade effects can be used in either of the two hilts, the light up and the non-light up. So yeah, there you have it. That's the lightsaber and blades. While we're on lightsabers, we might as well take a look at this swap out arm. Now, this arm swaps out at the elbow joint. Collectors of Hot Toys will know the score here. Very simple. Just roll up that sleeve, pop out the arm that's in there and clip this one back in place. The feature for this particular arm is the light up feature, and underneath this sculpted plastic cowl section of the glove, which is on all the arms, so when you swap out the arm or the hands, you can reposition it to make it look like one continuous glove, and the effect is pretty much convincing if you get that seam just about right and in the right place. But yeah, the sculpt and the paint application is the same as the gloves on this upper section here. There's sculpted in stitch work, and there's dry brushing and so on to give it that material-like look. I'm just going to well, we want to shift that out of the way because you can actually see it here. Underneath that top section of the glove is the button cell battery compartment. Yes, my heart sinks when I say that. Button cell batteries, the work of the devil himself. But yeah, small Phillips head screwdriver in there, pop that out, and you've got 3 button cell batteries provided. You pop those in, and away you go. You have a light up lightsaber. Now, this is a feature I never use. I have never used it in this figure, hence why these batteries are still in their plastic container. Regulars to the channel will know my feelings on button cell batteries. There are multiple manufacturers out there who provide lightsabers with USB connections. I would have to say, if you are a massive Star Wars fan and you've not availed yourself of their services, please do. You won't be seeing this light up feature in the showcase at the end, simply because I've got better things to do than give myself a nervous breakdown attempting to get those button cell batteries in there. And as far as I understand it, the effect is not that impressive, to be honest. Not a massive Star Wars collector, but I have heard from other collectors that due to the nature of the actual materials used here and the strength of the LED, the effect isn't awe-inspiring, shall we say. But if you're wanting to use it, that's how you do it. So we'll put that replacement arm to one side. A spare pair of wrist pegs, always great to see. Oh, and as well included in there, these are some little silver buttons there that we see often in Hot Toys figures. I think this is for use on the belted sections of the outfit itself. If one comes free, dab a crazy glue on the back of there, and you can replace it with a pair of tweezers. So yeah, spare wrist pegs and buttons. Let's take a look at the rest of the weapons. The grenade. Now this is the grenade that I believe that Luke tosses into the belly of the AT-AT once he's sliced the door open with his lightsaber. Yeah, very, very simple. One piece of sculpted plastic, nothing too fancy going on here. You've got this grey shaded plastic, and then there's a paint application at the top there to give it that metallic look, and that silver band around the middle with a little bit of weathering on it. But yeah, very small but very screen accurate, and on point. So that's the grenade. You get his blaster. Nicely done here, but like I've said at the top there, I think Hot Toys have had enough practice to be getting this right, and yeah, it's very, very well done. Screen accuracy's there. The metallic paint applications with those with that silver dry brushing on the body of the gun to give it that metallic look, on point. The end of the barrel there with that shaped end there with the silver paint applications, and then once again dry brushing going on there. Just overall very, very nicely done. Handle's really nicely painted. It looks slightly weathered. The attention to detail here is really, really good, I have to say, even down to weathering on the handle. So yeah, very, very nicely done. Very screen accurate. Great sculpt, great paint applications. So yeah, another box tick there from Hot Toys. That's the blaster. You also get the what I'm going to call this, the grappling hook, the grappling gun, whatever you want to call it, but it's the device he uses to attach himself to the bottom of the AT-AT. Screen accuracy is here in spades. It's all one piece of sculpted, well, it's not all one piece of sculpted plastic, because we've got some rubber going on at the end here with this slightly bendy section, so you can have it bent if you're wanting to. There is flexibility in there. I'm assuming this is a rubber coated wire you've got at the bottom. You've got a hook on the bottom area there for clipping it to the belt if you want to display it with the belt. The magnetic section has just fallen out of the top. We'll put that back in. We'll get to that. The body itself has got paint applications on there. There's a grey, a dark grey going on. There's some silver paint applications. The handle's been painted black. Yeah, it's just overall, the screen accuracy looks there to me. And the sculpt looks very good. Now, it does have a feature that works in conjunction with the base that we'll get to momentarily, but the whole top section here comes out. Now there's a couple of ways of doing this. This back section removes as well, and I shall attempt to get this off on camera, and as you can see, it's attached by a piece of string. Now depending on the pose that you're going for, and if you're wanting to use this in the display, you can have it detached like this, so you've got some length to this section here, because there is a magnet in the bottom of this that we'll get to, or alternatively, if you're just wanting to have him holding it but without the grappling magnet out of the main body of the gun itself, all you need to do is just detach that back section. You can just wrap this around like this, and eventually it'll give you enough purchase there just to slot that back in, and hopefully that's not going to go in. Oh, well, there you go. It's worked on camera, but that's the grappling gun. We'll keep this out so we can see how it works with the base. Before we get to the base, though, let's take a look at the helmet. Now, this is where we need to bring the instructions back in. I'm not going to say this is an issue, but we'll take a look at it first before we get to the functionality. And I've got to say, straight out of the box, I think this is an absolutely superb piece of sculpting from Hot Toys here. I think the screen accuracy is on point, the weathering, the paint applications, the colours, just the overall attention to detail. I think it's phenomenal. I love this. I think it's cracking. You've got that rebellion symbol on the top there. The weathering here, these blacks and these dirty effects and the scratches are just great. And as I say, I know Hot Toys have been at this a long time, but they still deserve a round of applause on this helmet. But it has its caveats, which we will get to. So yeah, that's the helmet. Also has a movable visor on this helmet as well. If you can see inside there, there's a little sliding section, and if you're wanting to move that visor up or down, it's not the easiest thing in the world, because this microphone here gets in the way, and this is on a soft plastic, and you don't want that snapping off or falling out of the helmet. So you have to be super careful, but you can get your fingers in there, and you can lift that up and down depending on what particular pose or that you want in your display. So yeah, that's the outside of the helmet. Also comes with now I have no idea what these are called. These are those things that pilots wear underneath their helmets, I'm assuming to protect their heads. So I have no idea what the name of it is. But yeah, this is a soft sculpted plastic. It's sculpted to look like material. The paint applications and the sculpting are really nice. You've got stitching in there. The whole thing does look like material. When I first got this out of the box, I thought it was, but it isn't. It's got a strap at the front there, which closes around, and yeah, that's to go on the head. Now, the final piece is this chin strap, which actually slots into place. And this is why you need the instructions. There's a little felt pad on there because it rests against his chin, which is great to see, so it's not going to damage the paintwork, even when you've got this on the figure. But paint applications are nice, and screen accuracy is there. Now, the issues with this helmet, which are covered in the instructions, it comes in two pieces. Now, to attach this helmet, you have to take it apart. And this is where I would recommend that you read the instructions. Nearly dropped it there. Also, as well, forgot to mention, inside on both the right and the left hand side, where the ears are, and on the back there are two foam pad strips to protect the head sculpt. But yeah, to actually attach this helmet using both of these pieces is a monumental ball ache. It really is. I can't see how Hot Toys could have done it any differently, short of giving us a separate head sculpt with the helmet already on. But what it involves, without going into too much detail, is this helmet splits into two pieces down the center. You take out the visor, you then remove the hairpiece from the head sculpt. You then attach this piece to the head sculpt. You then reattach the two separate pieces of the helmet on either side of the head, finally reattaching the visor, and once you've done that, it's a case of slotting the chin strap up into the right position. And I've got to be honest, that whole process, depending on how adept you are and how unsausage your fingers are, and mine are sausage fingers, is an utter a ball ache. It really is. It can take forever. There's lots of risk going on here because you can damage this strap here, you can damage this microphone, you could damage the visor. Yeah, the whole thing. I've got to be honest, I don't display him with helmet on for this reason. And also as well, it's such a phenomenally good head sculpt. Why would you want to cover it up? But yeah, that's my gripes over about the wonderful yet annoying helmet. So I'll pop that to one side. And finally, this whole base arrangement. Now, we'll start with the bog standard part of the base itself. Hexagonal base, as we've come to expect from Hot Toys. All one piece of sculpted plastic done in this white, which is nice to see. There's no feet on this base, so watch out for slippage in the display. And the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that there's 2 holes in here. Why would it have those, I hear you ask? Well, there is a reason for that. On top of the hexagonal base, you've got that usual sort of tactile feeling top that's been attached to it. And this is the underside of the AT-AT. Well, before we get to that feature, let's just quickly have a look at the front. Across the front here, you've got printed on to the front of the hexagonal base. It says Star Wars, Luke Skywalker. You've got the Rebellion symbol and an X-wing there on the left-hand side. But yeah, back to this feature now. Underside of this is well, that's not the underside; it's the top side. As I say, you've got this tactile section here now. What you can do, if you are a braver individual than I am, and that's what those screw holes are for, you can actually attach this to a surface, either via screws or via another means, whichever means you see fit. You can then take and this is not a standard issue crotch grabber for Hot Toys. Number one, it's white, but it's got this angle on the top section here, and there's a reason for that. Now, I'm going to try and get this into the base here. I have never attempted to do this in the display. Some people may already know where I'm going with this, but what you can do is you can actually have this upside down in the display, obviously secured, and then you can attach this portion of the grapple gun to the top of the base itself, and then have the figure held by this waist grabber underneath. I would recommend do not attempt to do this this pose without the waist grabber. That will all end in tears. This magnet is not particularly strong. It will not support the full weight of the figure, and honestly, it's never crossed my mind to attempt to display it this way. It's a nice feature if you're wanting to do that, you're wanting to replicate that scene. However, I think there are too many risks involved for me to want to do that. So yeah, that's an option there if you want it, but normal way round works for me. So yeah, that's your waist grabber and the top of the base itself. Also you get, and I'm just going to take the waist grabber out for a second actually, it also comes with 2 replacement hexagonal sections which will go over the top depending on what you're wanting to do. Now, I brought out both of these hexagonal sections for the purpose of this review, and one has gone walkabout. I suspect the 6-scale Pixies arrived and have scuttled off with it, so for the time being it has disappeared. However, this one is obviously the Hoth snow effect one, and there is another one which is a sort of holographic one. You have to take my word for it, it's very nice, and it's meant to be the surface of Dagobah. But yeah, if you're wanting to go with the Hoth scene, you can simply slot that on the top, whack in the crotch grabber in the usual fashion, and that will hold it in place. And that's where this section comes in. Now, I believe this is resin. It's got a bit of heft to it, this actually, and yeah, it feels like resin, not plastic. But the snow effect on the top here is quite well done. Could be a little bit more HD, but I do like it. It's got these paint applications and flecking on here. There are blues in there to give it that sort of icy feel, and overall it's pretty good. And once you've got the stand set up this way, you can slot the stand. You can slot it into anywhere you want the stand. So depending on the pose that you're going for, you can have it at the front there like that. You could, if you're wanting it at the back, it'll pretty much fit wherever you want it to go, and it adds that extra dimension to the stand. I think it's a great idea. I maybe would have liked to have seen a magnet that secures it to the stand itself, because it's free floating. So once you've got the figure on there, if it could be a problem, especially if you've got his foot up here or something like that, that it might move around in the display. So a magnet might have gone amiss on either side of there. But overall, I think it's a cracking idea here from Hot Toys, and what it does is it gives it that extra depth. I like to display it that way with the snow section at the front and with Luke with the foot up on it. I think it looks very good. So yeah, nice touch there. You can turn your bog standard Hot Toys hexagonal base into a diorama base. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for smart thinking there from Hot Toys. So we'll put the base to one side as well. So there you have it, folks. That's all the accessories that come with Snowspeeder Luke. So without further ado, let's bring out the man himself. Let's get him onto that stand, get him onto the turntable, and have a close-up look at him. Okay, folks, so here he is. It's Snowspeeder Luke himself. Onto the stand, onto the turntable. Obviously can't give first impressions because it's not a new figure to me. However, I can say, I mean, this is it's maybe 2.5 year old figure. I've had it since its release, and I am still super impressed to this day. I think it's an absolutely cracking piece of work from Hot Toys. I think the proportions look spot on. That outfit looks screen accurate. We've already spoken about that helmet. Got him in a little bit of a pose here, holding the helmet. We will take a look at the head sculpt, but yeah, I think as a representation of Luke from Empire Strikes Back, the Snowspeeder pilot, I think Hot Toys have hit every note here just about, but we'll find out for certain by having a close-up look. So let's stop him from spinning, get him off that stand, and dive in and have a look at the details. I am going to remove this helmet first because this is precariously balanced and we don't want that to fall off. But yeah, let's get him off this stand. And I've got to say from the get-go here, this waist grabber's not the best solution in the world. I think going for a crotch grabber could have been problematic as well, because you would have had to bring that further forward, which would have limited the range of positions that you can get on this rather nice base. So I think it's probably it's a compromise there, but it works. Let's just try and get him off without this waist grabber getting caught, and that's one of the issues here as well. If you have the lightsaber attached to the belt, as I do here, it can be quite difficult getting him on and off, but yeah, we'll pop that to one side for a second and we'll take a look at the details. So we'll start at the bottom, as we always do, and work our way up. We'll start with these boots, the Hoth boots. Now, got to say straight away, I think these are very, very well done. There's no split cut boot design going on here. I believe they're pegged directly into the legs themselves. You've got some forward and backward movement going on there. You've got sideways movement as well. You've got a rocking to either side. So I think, yeah, Hot Toys have really nailed on the articulation, considering it's all one boot. But the reason why you're getting that amount of movement is the material that they've used here. Sculpted plastic at the bottom here, which is really nicely done with sculpted in stitching. And you've got a sole on there with some weathering on, which is nice to see. And that weathering continues all the way around the back, as does the stitching. But what they've used here, and I can only describe this as a sort of a brushed cotton stroke suede material. So the tops of these boots are all material, as are these sections, these strap sections down the front and round the back. Stitch work is really nice on those, but what it does give you is that range of motion and flexibility within the ankle joints, which is nice to see. So yeah, overall liking those boots. Moving up to the suit itself, well, before we get to the suit, you've got this this section that's actually sewn onto the suit, which is holding. Now I'm trying to remember what these are. I'm sure someone will correct me in the comment section, but in this sort of nylon stroke canvas section across the top of the knee there, you've got these, I'm going to call them canisters. They could be grenades, they could be shells, they could be flares. I'm not sure what they are, but they're all individually sculpted and they all move around in there, so they do come out. And they're just one piece of sculpted plastic with a silver paint application, but yeah, nice to see those on there. And once again, the screen accuracy is there. Moving up to the suit itself, the orange flight suit. Now, I've got to say, I think this flight suit is done exceptionally well. I really do. The stitch work absolutely on point, and you know me and my stitch work. Regulars to the channel will know I am a complete stickler for accurate 1/6 scale stitch work, because I think you can throw a figure out if you have the best figure in the world, but if the stitch work is not to scale and not done well, it can just mess it up completely. But they've got it absolutely on point as far as I can tell here. The tone, the colour and the tone of the suit itself, absolutely on point. Now the weathering, and I think they've weathered it beautifully. They really have. There's weathering on the tops of the legs there. There's weathering at the knees. We'll take a look around the back. You've got weathering around the bum area there, down the backs of the legs. Just really, really nicely done. And let's check the articulation. We're going to check articulation on this leg and not on this leg, because I don't want those canisters going flying. But yeah, you've got a double joint there on that knee, and it's going to go right way back there, as you can see. Not particularly limited, because it's obviously it's this canvas or cotton. I think it's cotton actually. It feels like a cotton material, and a decent quality cotton material they use as well on the flight suit. So moving up, you've got these straps hanging down. Once again, screen accurate here. I believe these are made out of what feels like a nylon material, man-made fibre. But once again, these have been weathered as well. If the camera's catching this, the lighting's getting it. Yeah, nice to see weathering on those straps as well. And those straps run up to the back of the jacket. You've got on this side, we'll lift this arm up a little bit. You've got the holster arrangement going on here. Now, I am not sure what material Hot Toys have used here. Looking at the back of it, it looks like some kind of embossed plastic. It feels like plastic, and I'm hoping it is plastic actually, because I'd rather see plastic than pleather. I don't think it's real leather. I could be wrong. If I am, please correct me in the comment section below. But yeah, you can holster the blaster itself if you're wanting to, and it's magnetically clasped. Now that is a fantastic touch there from Hot Toys. I have had so many, and I'm sure other people experience this, where you're fiddling around trying to get this strap to fit. We were looking at a figure the other day where you actually had to literally double it over and then try and push it through. This is such a simple yet such an effective solution there. So yeah, props to Hot Toys on that one. The belt itself, now very, very well done, this belt. You've got those studs on that we mentioned in the accessories section there, in case any of those pop off. You've got these sort of compartmentalized sections for all these bits and pieces, which run around the back. The back of the belt, I believe, is Velcro. Yeah, there's a Velcro fastening there if you're wanting to take it off. Not sure why you'd want to, but you can. Yeah, I believe it's plastic, and it's been given that brown paint application to give it that brown leather look. The front of the belt itself, now I believe that is plastic, but that has been weathered too. I do like that. I like the paint applications they put on there to give it that weathered look. Up to the jacket. Now, the jacket itself is made out of a nylon material, pretty much what I believe the jackets were made out of in the movie itself. Stitch work, once again, really, really nice. The fit and the fall, absolutely on point. You've got these rib sections down the arms here. Quality stitch work going on. And just check around the back here. Yeah, and you've got that white sort of bib section as well, and that feels like it's made out of a canvas or a nylon material. And once again, that's weathered. And you've got the screen strap on here, obviously holding the sort of life support system, if you will, to the front of that bib section. The thing, once again, that strikes me on this particular jacket is the weathering. I think they have got the weathering absolutely spot on here. It's just a black brushing. Whether it's dry brushing, I'm not sure. Probably dry brushing actually, but I think it is super accurate. It gives that figure the depth that it needs, and it's continued down the bottom of the jacket here. It's on the front. It's up the arms and on the shoulders if the light's catching that. Even up onto the collar section here. You've got it around the back of the jacket, yeah, just very, very well done. I think Hot Toys have done a cracking job here. There's a couple of metal, I'll try and get these into shot. There's a couple of metal clasps on the belt itself, and you can hang the lightsaber there, or you can hang that grenade, or even the grapple hook if you're wanting to. The bit of a problem here is this pipe. Now, this sculpted section of the life support system, it's all one piece of sculpted plastic and it's affixed in place by those straps. I don't think it's attached to that bib section, or it might be. But the paint applications are nice. You've got the whites and the blues and the greys going on in there, and there's some weathering on there, only a minor amount, but it's there. And then you've got this plastic hose which runs out. Now, I've tucked it into his pocket here because I think that's the best place for it. You don't want it hanging free. But when you tuck it into the pocket like this, it can get in the way of hanging the accessories on the belt itself, which can be a bit of a pain. And they can tend to stick off at a jaunty angle like that. It just takes a little bit of foot to get it to fall back in place, especially if you've got him in that pose with his left leg slightly moving forward, which I like to use to give it that sort of sense of motion. Arms, let's check the articulation in the arms, and it's the usual Hot Toys story here. That arm will pretty much go all the way up to a full extension there. So double jointed, I am assuming. Usual story, it's ratcheted, I can feel the ratchet in there. The arms at the top there, butterfly joint, great to see, so that you can have a full range of motion in there, probably only limited by this flight jacket. Those free-floating sections that give the gloves that full gauntlet look. On the left-hand side, you've got the sculpted in what I believe is the communicator. So yeah, nice to see, nice paint applications there. I've got him ungloved on this side, so you can see what it looks like without the gloved hand. And the good news is, if you keep this section on, it'll cover any ugly wrist peg that maybe come visible underneath there. You probably get that from the flight suit itself, but yeah, nice. It's a coverall as well as being screen accurate. So yeah, collar on the jacket, really nice. Once again, same level of stitch work. Let's move up to this head sculpt now. Let's try and get him in as close as possible here so we can see this head sculpt. And 2 years old, this figure, 2.5 as I mentioned, and I still think that is an absolutely cracking head sculpt there. Is it 100%? No. Is it 99%? Possibly 95%. I think the skin textures and tones really, really well done. The eyes are really nice and glassy there, and the colour is right. Even down to the skin imperfections, the mole on the left cheek there, that mole on the right cheek quite close to the nose. Tone's really nice. It's got a tad of a shine to it, which is a little bit off-putting. I think that's the paint applications on the for the facial skin tones. It's just a little bit too shiny for me. And there are some angles there where I am not quite getting Mark Hamill. I think it's very, very good. I think it's exceptionally good. I just don't think it's quite perfect, but that's probably just my personal taste. I think it might be the eyes. I'm not 100% certain, but let me know in the comments section, what are your thoughts on this head sculpt? Is it me? Am I getting it completely wrong? Is it better than I'm giving it credit for? I like it a hell of a lot. And I think it's unmistakably Luke Skywalker. However, just sometimes it catches an angle where I'm not 100% sure. The hair itself, very nicely sculpted, individual strands in there. You've got browns and almost like a sort of copper tone going on to pick out the highlights. The style is right for the movie. It's that over the ears look. And also as well, as I mentioned in the accessories section, this is magnetically attached. So if you are wanting to attach that helmet, go through that entire ball lake process, you can do. Now, I think we've just left the magnet behind. Yeah, now there's an issue straight away. That's left the magnet behind. That magnet should be in the top there. I'm assuming a dab of glue is going to be required there to get that that magnet back in place. So yeah, the magnets probably need a little bit of attention there. But yeah, you lift that hair piece off, then you attach this piece, and then you attach the helmet, as we mentioned in the accessories section. So there you have it, folks. That is Snowspeeder Luke, courtesy of Hot Toys. Let's get him back on that stand if we can squeeze him into that crotch grabber. I'm going for final thoughts on this guy. Now, I'll just try and get him back in. And this, like I said, this is not the easiest thing in the world. Now, this is what happens when you, as you can see here, you know, the lightsaber itself is has gone all astray. What I need to do is actually try and manipulate it so that that waist grabber goes around the back here of the and the other side is stuck on something. There we go, that's it. That's a little bit better. So we'll get him back on there, and we'll give him his helmet back. See if we can't balance that in there, in the crook of his arm there. So, final thoughts on this guy. Well, there we go. I've got to say, I think for a couple of years down the line, I think he has stood the test of time very, very well. I'm going to just squeeze him onto on here, and there we go. Will he stay upright without dropping that helmet? This is turning into a posing session. There we go. Yeah, got to be super careful with that helmet because don't want that dropping and breaking. So, final thoughts on this guy. Right, accessories, absolutely on point. Loving the grapple gun, loving the blaster, loving the helmet. Lightsabers, they are really, I think that's down to personal taste. Me personally, I'm not the world's biggest fan of the light-up feature, so the swap-out arm's not really necessary, but it's there if you want it. I think the lightsabers themselves are done pretty well. In fact, they've done very, very well. So yeah, all accessories absolutely on point. That outfit, I've got to say, I think is one of the most screen-accurate outfits I've seen on a Hot Toys figure. I think it is absolutely phenomenal. Love the colouring, that slight tonal change there between the actual pants and the jacket. The weathering is some of the best on a Hot Toys I've ever seen. Yeah, overall, superb. That helmet, yes, it's a complete pain in the backside. Trying to get it onto the figure. It is worth the effort if you want to put it in. However, it's very risky and not a look that, and very time consuming as well, and not a look that I would go for. But yeah, so accessories on point, outfit on point, head sculpt is just something not there for me in that head sculpt. It's not a deal breaker. I still love it, and I still love displaying. I still love having it in the collection. I think it's a fantastic interpretation of Luke in Empire. However, that head sculpt is just ever so slightly a hair's breadth away from actually being perfect. Just that odd angle there, as I mentioned before, where I don't think they've quite nailed it, but that's just me. I could be completely wrong. So there you have it, folks. That's Luke, and I suppose all it remains for me to say, oh, what's coming up on the channel? Nearly forgot. In the new figure department, we have, oh, I didn't score him. Oh dear me, Mr. Go Figure has turned into a spoon and completely forgotten to score him. I'm going to give this guy a 9 out of 10. Yeah, I'm taking just, well, a 9.5. Yeah, I'm going to take 0.5 off for that head sculpt. 1 point, maybe half a point off for that head sculpt, just not being perfect for me. So yeah, we'll give him. We'll go with a 9.5. So yeah, what's coming up on the channel? Well, in the action figure department, 1/6 scale, we have new stuff from Hot Toys, from Present Toys, Caustic Plastic, InArt, Susu Toys, X06, the list goes on. We have retro reviews, we have showcases, we have more episodes of Grail or Fail, more episodes of Don't Make Me Choose. So there's a boatload of stuff on the horizon. So as I mentioned at the top there, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you're not missing anything. And just before we zip over to the showcase, I suppose all it remains for me to say is a massive thank you for watching, and from myself, from Snowspeeder Luke, take care of yourselves, happy collecting, and it's over to the showcase.